Hey guys, what's going on? Jeff here from Films at Home, and I figured today's as good a day as any to check out a Best Picture winner on Blu-ray and give you guys a review. Hey guys, so thanks for coming back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to take a look at an actual Blu-ray review. Now, I haven't done one of these in a pretty long time. Typically, I like to do 4K reviews, but in this case, there was not a 4K available to me, and so I did grab a Blu-ray, and I want to review it because we are talking about Parasite, which just yesterday won Best Picture at the Oscars, also cleaned up in a bunch of other categories, including Original Screenplay and Best Foreign or International Feature Film, they're calling it now, as well as Best Director for Bong Joon-ho. So I wanted to check it out, see what the Blu-ray quality was all about, and see whether this potentially could get a 4K release now that it has a lot of critical success behind it and a lot of hype following its Best Picture win. Now, if you do like Blu-ray and 4K Ultra HD collecting, home theater, just movies at all, I think you'll enjoy the channel, so please consider subscribing. If you like this video, leave me a like, and let me know in the comments what you guys thought about the Oscars. I'm curious to hear everybody's opinions. For me, personally, I thought it went pretty well, pretty standard, no real surprises, maybe except for Parasite, but it was an interesting night, and so I'm always curious, so let me know in the comments what you think, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you want to see future videos. With that being said, let's jump right into this review. Now, the Blu-ray of Parasite was something that I featured in one of my collection update videos because Universal had sent it to me to check out, and this came out a few weeks back, late January, before the Oscars, and so obviously you'll see on here that there is no note of it winning Best Picture, nor would there would be, but it is noted that it was Festival de Cannes, and it won the Palme d'Or, and it has a certified fresh Rotten Tomatoes sticker on the front, which is, sorry, not a sticker, it's on there solidly. So Parasite is a South Korean film. It's entirely in Korean, so there are only English subtitles on here. But it's a very interesting movie. It's kind of like a thriller, but I don't want to even, you know what? I'm not even going to talk about it because what people told me was not to talk about this movie, not to look anything up online, just go and watch it. And I think that helped. So I'm going to say the same to you. Now, the Blu-ray is very good from a visual standpoint. This movie was actually shot at 6.5K and finished at 4K, which is why it's really disappointing that we didn't get a 4K Ultra HD release upon its initial release from Universal, because it's a prime candidate for it. The 6.5K source is really well done, and this is all digitally shot, so it's super clean, really sharp edges, great detail, pores, hair, you know, all the really fine things you look for in a detailed 4K release, you can really see here on the Blu-ray. So even though it's downscaled from 4K to 1080p, it still has an excellent digital picture quality. Colors are actually really good. I'm super disappointed it doesn't have 4K, especially for the HDR, because there are a lot of darker sequences, and there's a lot of instances where color kind of plays an important piece, and if that color was really standing out on the screen like it could with HDR against kind of a white or gray backdrop, I think that it could have been a top 10 4K release. So unfortunately, we don't have that here, but the 1080p Blu-ray picture is very good. It is probably, from what I can remember, one of the best Blu-rays I've seen in a while. Honestly, it's, you know, if you pop this in and told somebody it was a 4K, for somebody who's not really looking for it, you might be able to trick them into it. It is a really clean picture, and, you know, it's a real disappointment that Universal couldn't get this out on 4K before the Oscars, because it would have been an incredible, incredible transfer. Now for audio, this is pretty bare bones. So it's a Korean DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 track. So it's a full 5.1 DTS HD Master Audio. It's a very good track. And for a movie like this, which doesn't have a ton of effects, mostly dialogue driven, it's not really an over-the-top like Fast and Furious or Godzilla or something like that. The Atmos track or an upgraded track really isn't necessary. The 5.1 is excellent on this. Now, I say it's a little bare bones because your only other options, at least on the US release, are to play it in 2.0 Dolby Digital in English, which I do not recommend. Nobody should ever do that and watch a dub of a movie like this. You should just listen to the original language and read the subtitles. But the only subtitles available are English. And so, you know, as you know, in North America especially, you know, on the Canadian release, maybe there's some French subtitles, I would hope. But just in the United States, think about how many people out there speak Spanish. I know a lot of people on my channel ask all the time about Spanish. Are there Spanish subtitles? Also get a lot of questions about Portuguese subtitles. And that's something that's not on here. And so it's just a little disappointing that a film that was an international feature film winner only delivers English subtitles in the US, where there could arguably be more languages spoken in the US than any other country. It's such a melting pot of different languages. You'd think you'd want to put at least like Spanish, maybe French, Portuguese, even like German subtitles or Dutch, or, there's a lot of stuff I see on other releases that are just in English that don't really need that many subtitles. And this one especially, where most people in the US are not going to speak Korean, you'd ideally have more than just English on here, but unfortunately that's all you get. So if you do speak Spanish or any other language than English, you're gonna have to find another release or find some subtitles or a subtitled version somewhere online, because the Blu-ray is not gonna give that to you. Now, outside of that, the audio is very clear, dialogue is great. There are some sequences where the surround really kicks in, and the score is also really excellent as well. I had a good time with that. It's not an overly powerful audio mix, but it's very clear, very concise, to the point. All the speakers are in full effect. Center speaker is great for dialogue. They did a really good job with the mix. But I'm just a little disappointed in the subtitles. Not that it affects me, but I know that it affects a lot of people in the US, and for an international feature film to not kind of expand its international reach and expand its subtitles was kind of weird to me. Packaging wise, in the US, we've just got this standard Blu-ray digital copy, no DVD. The digital copy redeems on Movies Anywhere, so that's easy. A lot of people have moved over to that. Packaging is the same on the inside. You've just got a standard Blu-ray case. There's the digital code that I just pulled out, and then a pretty boring, no artwork on this. Just a standard Blu-ray disc, nothing crazy. Special features, again, not much. There's a couple trailers on here, and then there's about a 20-minute interview with Bong Joon-ho. I forget where the interview was. I think it says it was at one of the film festivals. I can't remember which one, but it's just a Q&A for like 20 minutes with him, and that's all you get outside of the trailers. And so it is a pretty bare bones release. It almost feels like Universal didn't have a whole lot of faith in this one, and then it went on to win all the major awards outside of acting. It won screenplay, director, best picture. So I wouldn't be surprised if Universal went back and redid this on 4K, maybe in a couple of months, or maybe they have it like real quick and they'll turn it around and announce it really soon. But I would be surprised if it didn't get a proper 4K release, considering how good the visuals are, and considering that it's pretty bare bones on features, and it's not really great with the subtitles. There'll be some special packaging, the best picture, limited edition or something that comes in 4K. I'm sure they'll try to celebrate it in some way. So thanks for watching this. This was Parasite. Again, I highly recommend it. It's an excellent Blu-ray, but the reason you may want to hold off on the Blu-ray is because there's a good chance at a 4K. Now, I don't know anything. There are no rumors about it yet, but all I know is that studios always like to capitalize on Best Picture winners. So at the least, I would say that this will probably get some different packaging coming out soon to celebrate the fact that it's a Best Picture winner. Maybe they'll try to do that 4K release. And I believe there's also some 4K releases overseas, so that's always an option too, as all 4K discs are region free. You could play them on any player. So if you did want to import this movie on 4K, you could. I believe I saw one in France. And I'm not sure where else, but make sure it has English subtitles, because who knows, the French one may only have French subtitles. The way they did this in the US, it only has English. So just be really careful with what you buy. But great movie, awesome, lots of fun, nerve-wracking, thriller, funny moments. Like it has everything. And Bong Joon-ho he's a great director. He's got a bright future, and he's made excellent movies already. It's Snowpiercer and The Host, amongst other things. And so I'm really excited to see what he does next. And, it was a huge win for international feature films to win the Best Picture at the Oscars. Usually you don't see that. In fact, I think it's only the second time ever, maybe behind The Artist, but I think The Artist was still produced in the US. So it's a really historic night that it's a truly international movie, not just in a foreign language, created here in the US, but completely made, outside of the US by a completely Korean team of producers, and Neon and Universal gave it a chance here, and it did really well. So I'll leave a link to buy the Blu-ray if you do want to get it. Of course, you can always trade in your Blu-ray if 4K does come out, or double dip. But I like to have all the Best Picture winners, so if it doesn't come out on 4K, I'd highly recommend the Blu-ray, and I'll leave a link to that if you do click the link. That helps support my channel with a small commission. Also, make sure to check out all the other links. Follow me on Instagram. Check out my Patreon page if you're interested. And there's some other links down below, ways you can support my channel through Amazon and through my merchandise store. So check those out if you're interested. Make sure you subscribe if you like this type of content. If you enjoyed the video, leave me a like and let me know what you thought about the Oscars. I'll be back soon with another video. I have a Q&A video I need to do for 25,000 subscribers, which I've been kind of holding off on, but I'm going to put it together in the next few days. You guys will see that one soon, so that'll probably be the next video. So stay tuned for that one. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you guys soon.